What's up, everybody? Welcome to DDLIVE, number 105. Is it 105? I think it's 105. Happy New Year! It is New Year's Eve, and I played that for Aaron. I like that song. That's a good song. I've heard that song before, too. It's been in a movie, hasn't it? But yeah, that's definitely a song to get you pumped up, right? Good times. Yeah, I needed some good pump me up music, too. How are you guys doing today? Let me say my hellos. Whew, I'm breathing heavy. I was running upstairs and then downstairs and then upstairs. Jesus fucking Christ. Wow. Guys, don't get old. Don't do it. All right? Did you think about it? Don't do it. Actually do it because I want you guys to live. But you know what I mean. It's brutal. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Chester, what's up? Chester was first in there. I saw him. Brandon. Aaron. Yeah, Aaron, thank you, man, for that. You request a song pre-stream. I might just play it. Okay? Trina, what's up? Polly. Blood Splatter Chatter. I like that name. That's a cool name. Aaron Click. Gene Wildcomb. Wildcomb. I know I butchered that. Nicholas Vincent, what's up, brother? Tanker Yanker. I like that. Lee Maddox. Randy. What's up, Randy? How you doing, man? Mark Jones, Richard Strange, Davey Deathray, what's up, brother? How you doing? Nice to see you in here. Squeezed in my workout just in time to join the stream. Yeah, man, you gotta. You know what? I'm glad you said that because that's kind of the first thing that I'm going to talk about. Vinny, what's up? Caranver, how you doing? Shelby, nice to see you. Ryan Underwood, seeing more people flow in here. Tabato, what's up, Tabato? I was thinking about Halloween 2 today. Every time I think about Halloween 2, I think about Brandon Tabato, right? Rage. Yeah. Jesse Campbell. What's up, brother? How you doing? Jared W. Yes. Blade Brown. Yeah. Speaking of health, and I'm no beacon of health or anything like that, but I'm going to say this right now, and I hope I don't eat my words, but I think I'm officially off of Monster. Okay? I think I'm officially off of Monster because you ever have a wake-up call, guys? Like a wake-up call. Like something health-wise hits you and you're like, okay, I have to stop that. And I think it was last week sometime, I'm going to be honest. I'd been drinking Monster every single day. Just one a day. Rarely, if ever, do I drink 2 a day because I know that's crossing the line. But I drink 1 a day. And this is a habit that I picked up back in 2012 when I was in Afghanistan. My buddy Matt Register can attest to this. He's a good buddy of mine. He's in Killer Flicks. But that's where I met Matt. He's a civilian contractor. And we had like a crew of like 5 or 6 guys, and we would all go to the shopette and buy Monsters. One guy would pay for everybody else, and we would just alternate the days. So that's where I got hooked on Monster. And if you don't know this, if you're not from the military, if you haven't been deployed, I'm here to tell you, energy drinks are almost a currency in deployments. You can get a lot of shit done with a case of energy drinks. You know, there's a lot of like trading over there. You know, rarely, as far as like getting shit done, does money exchange hands. At least not at this level, right? So you know, you'd have a buddy say, "Hey, man. You comm guy, can you hook up my cable for me?" Yeah. Just hook me up with like a case of Monster and I'll go hook up your cable for you. You know, that's kind of a good thing. So yeah, you could get a lot of shit done. And I just got hooked on Monster. I thought it was delicious. It gave me the energy boost. And guys, this is like 11 years ago. And I've been drinking Monster ever since. I'm amazed I'm not dead. But I had a wake-up call the other night. Nothing crazy. But I was having like acid reflux, like insane acid reflux, so bad that I almost puked. Like I literally almost vomited. And you know that feeling when you're about to vomit and you feel like, I don't want to get too gross on you, but you feel like you just want to constantly spit. I don't know how else to say it, but I'm walking around the house and I feel like I have to spit to avoid throwing up, right? And it was like right there in that, and it wasn't just that, just the wanting to vomit, but it was also salivating. Thank you, Adrian. It was also chest pain. I was having like really, really bad chest pain, like crazy chest pain. And I was just like, that's it. I'm done. I cannot drink this shit anymore. I'm done with it. Because I know that's what's causing it. It's the freaking energy drinks. You know, there's so much sugar in there, and the carbonation, and it's my time, I guess. It finally hit me, and I have to quit it. So, do I still crave it? Yeah, I mean, not every day, but like yesterday when I was sitting down to edit, that's when I start wanting to have a drink. You know, I feel like I need something to give me an energy boost, and that's usually when I want to drink a Monster, is when I'm editing or working on videos. Even when I record too, when you just know that when you're watching my videos, there's a Monster sitting in my chair right next to me, or that's what it used to be. And I'd talk, and then I would stop and pause, and I would drink the Monster. So here's a little hint for you guys. When you watch my previous videos, look at my eyes. If my eyes are like watered over, that means I just took a drink. And you can tell. And usually like I'm squinting. Like I'll start talking as soon as I take the drink and put it down, So I got to say, though, it feels good. It's been like 5 days now, and I've only drank water, and I drink Gatorade. I drink water, like 1 part Gatorade, 5 parts water. That's pretty much what I drink, and it's given me the energy that I need. But more importantly, I don't have acid reflux anymore, and it feels really good, really good. I did go on like a water diet, like a few months ago. I call it a water diet, but it was just pretty much where I cut out all soda and I just drank water, and I felt great. I felt really great. Usually if I have some kind of goal in front of me, then I can hunker down and do what I need to do health-wise. Like I used to, because I'm a runner, and I used to run like half marathons. I haven't done a full marathon yet. But I used to run half marathons all the time. And those who run know that you have to prepare. You gotta train your body. You don't want to just jump right out and go a half marathon. Smoking cigarettes, drinking energy drinks, eating, greasy food. You have to change your habits. Otherwise, you're going to freaking pass out, 5 miles in. So, yeah. This was my wake-up call. The acid reflux was the worst it's ever been. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I'm hoping I stick to it. I'm sure I'll get a little craving here and there every now and then. But Brett, how are you doing? Erica, how are you doing? Nice to see you in here. Yep. I figured, because there's really no news or anything, but I was like itching to talk to you guys. And what better way to end the year than to just dedicate a stream to my favorite franchise? A franchise that had no movies this year. It pretty much ended a run last year. And I was just thinking, it'd be really fun to just kind of do a Halloween stream. I haven't done a fully dedicated Halloween stream in a while. And I love the franchise. And by the way, guys, all the love to you for whatever franchise. Like, get right now in the chat, give me your favorite franchise. What is your favorite franchise? What is your tried and true? The one that you run to. Like Bryan Adams style. I want to run to you. Which franchise do you run to when you need a pep, a boost? Halloween, Saw, Friday the 13th. Love it. Psycho. Ooh, Brandon, I respect that. Because Psycho, they do have some great movies. Brandon says Friday the 13th. Tabata, yeah. Don't get me wrong, too. I have a space for Friday the 13th. I have a space for Nightmare on Elm Street. And when I'm in that space, that's all I want and nothing else. I got to do Friday now. I'm in the mood for a camp slasher. I just want to see Jason do some freaking amazing kills. I want to see Jason smash somebody's cryogenically frozen head on a table. That's stuff that you might not get in other franchises. Same thing with Freddy. I want to see Freddy pull somebody into the dream world and scare the living shit out of them. Freddy's all about the chase. He's not about the end result. And usually the end result's pretty satisfying too. What a rush, right? So don't worry. I love my other boys, but Myers, man, that's my heart. Myers is my heart. Vinny, revisited reviews for Friday the 13th. Man, when I get the time, because I definitely want to go back and do revisiteds for Friday and Nightmare. And the only reason I would do that, if there's no need for me to do a revisited, if I've said everything I need to say, then I don't do one. But those two franchises were the first two franchises that I reviewed. And I would say this to any new YouTuber that jumps in, I'd say don't make the mistake I made. And maybe when I did it back then, I think there were fewer horror YouTubers back then, and maybe it was okay to do it. But I always give this advice, and it's just advice to newer YouTubers. Save the gold standard stuff, not just your favorite franchise, but really just save the gold standard stuff for when you are when you feel like 100% fully comfortable with your your craft, right? Call it a craft. It's a hobby at the end of the day, okay? But and the only reason I say, I'm not trying to be a snob and say don't talk about Halloween and Friday and those sacred franchises. You talk about whatever you want to talk about. But what I'm saying is, down the line, you might be like, damn, I wish I would have said this and this and this. And when you go back and watch those reviews, it's hard. You cringe. You're just like, God, what the hell? I'm so freaking nervous. Like when I watched my first Halloween 6 review, I can barely make it through like 20 seconds of it without freaking wanting to double over. It's that bad. And that's, Halloween 6 is like one of my all-time favorite movies in the franchise. So yeah, just advice, I would say, maybe try out a few lesser loved movies or just casual movies at first. If it's important to you, that end product, right? If you don't give a shit about the end product, you're just like, you know what, I'm just having fun. Who cares? Then ignore me. But, yeah, that's kind of my mindset. I go back to those reviews and I cringe. I do, but I don't regret it. It was a stepping stone, right? You got to learn somehow. And, and on the flip side of that, I have people all the time that tell me they want to do it, but they're just scared to death to jump in. And I always just tell them, just do it. Just dive in, because once you dive in, then once you rip the Band-Aid off, it just gets a little easier every time. But that fear, I quit like 3 times in the middle of my first review. That is no joke. I literally quit. Got up out of the chair, walked out of the room, said, I can't do this. And I got myself together and I said, you're going to regret this if you don't finish this, Who's going to care anyway, right? You're just a little nobody. So I just went back in and I eventually finished it. Edited it, put it together. And when I watched it, I was like, God, that's awful. But you know what? I felt proud and I felt good that at least I did it, right? Who the hell's that? Okay. Let me see. Nicholas, he says, revisited the franchise and re-review them if you want to update them. Yeah. Only if you feel like you got something more to say, That's why, and the first 3 franchises that I did were Halloween, Friday, and Nightmare. So I knew I wanted to go back and eventually do all 3 of those. I just haven't gotten to Friday and Nightmare yet. That's how long it takes me. Yeah. Davey, that's so nice. You were instrumental in making me want to finally take the leap and start my own channel. The hardest part was making that decision and shooting that first vid. From there, I was hooked. Yeah, me too. I was hooked. It became almost an addiction after that. I'm glad you mentioned that, Davey, because I didn't think about that. But yeah, it does become an addiction. Like you can't wait to get behind the camera again. But looking into that camera for the first time was the weirdest freaking thing ever. You think it's going to go one way if you've never done it. And then when you do it, you're just like, oh my God, there's nobody here. I'm literally just talking to this little circle, right? And I don't know how to react to it. You have to learn to make that circle a person somehow, form like a person in your mind that you're talking to. So Yeah. Oh, let me take a drink. Jesus, I'm already jabberjawing. Okay. I wrote down some ideas. I actually went for a walk before this, and I wrote down some ideas that I wanted to discuss for Halloween. And I put a little pinned thing up there. I thought this could be fun, and this is something I've never done before. Take each movie and give one thing that you think is the best and one thing that you think is the worst. And what makes this fun is that you guys can play along. You can give and it could be a one word or just a one sentence answer. That's the best thing and the worst thing. What's cool about this too is unless you just flat out say it, nobody's really going to know if you hate said movie or if you fully love said movie. That's kind of the fun thing about this. It's kind of a way to give the good and the bad of each movie, because I think each movie does have good and bad. So this could be fun. We could start with that if you guys want. And I even did like slides over here for it. Best and worst of each Halloween. This is going to be fun. I'm excited. We're going to do them in, we'll start with ends and we'll work our way to the first movie. Okay. All right. So are you ready? Okay. All right. So here we go. Okay. Halloween ends. Let's start with the best. All right. And some of these, it's going to be hard for me to only mention one thing that I love or one thing that I hate. I'm going to be tempted to list more, but I can't do that, okay? You can't do that. You got to list the absolute best thing and the absolute worst thing, okay? So, I'll read you a couple of yours first. Dream Villain says cinematography. Brian says he loves Halloween Ends. I do love the cinematography too. It is really good. Corey, Erica says, Brandon says interesting plot. See, this is fun already. Sam and Spitz were worse than Tina. I said what I said, and you were right. Oh my God. They were assholes. Ends best. Allison was awesome in there for sure. Davey Deathray says best cinematography, worst shoehorning Michael into the story. All right, cool. So I'll give you my best, and then we'll move to the worst. All right. So I think I'm going to agree with Erica on this. I think Corey, like if Corey wasn't a good fleshed out character, then this movie would have fallen on its face. You know, at least for me. I know it fell on its face for a lot of people anyway, but I was completely hooked into Corey throughout this whole movie. And I think that's a good sign when you're not like, hey, where's Michael Myers? I wasn't saying that because immediately from the opening scene, which is very like Scream, like that tragedy, they hook you in with this horrible tragedy and this guy who was just not even a babysitter. He was just stuck in this really bad situation. And so I grabbed on to Corey and I just held on for dear life throughout the whole movie. I loved watching his journey. And I got to admit, it was damn refreshing because I've been through 11 other Michael Myers movies that have pretty much a similar journey. So I was just like, I don't know where this story's going to go. I love that. And I think that's why I love Halloween Ends. I think that's why the people that do love Halloween Ends, I think that's why they love it, because they grabbed onto Corey and they just, you know, they rode that ride the whole way through. And I could have said it a better way. But yeah, so I agree. Corey is definitely the best part for me for Ends. So the worst part, let me think about this. You guys go ahead and load up your answers for the worst part of Halloween Ends. And Corey might be the worst part for you guys. That's what makes this fun. Oh, Scott Lauderdale. Boy, did you hit a big one right there. Deceptive marketing. But I didn't watch the trailers until after I saw the movie. And I've talked about this before. That was probably the number one complaint I saw about this movie was people hated the market. The marketing alone, I think it set their expectations up for a certain movie. And when it wasn't that movie at all, I think they were like, why are they doing this Corey thing? Like, I don't care about this character. Where's my promise that they set up in the trailer, right? That's what they were thinking. I'm not saying I agree with that, but that's what they were thinking. Now, my mindset towards that is it's Halloween. I don't really care what the trailers give me. I guess I don't get my expectations too high as far as the quote unquote promise, even though it was never promised anything. They said it'll be the final confrontation between Michael and Laurie. That happened. It did. It didn't happen the way you might have wanted it to happen, but it happened. It wasn't a satisfying way of happening, but still, if you're talking about the promise that was given, it's there. That's it. But so I understand. I don't with one of my favorite franchises. I kind of just want to go in and be surprised anyway, and I don't really care. But I understand if the marketing really bugged people. But to answer that, how should they have marketed this movie, right? And that's not a trick question. Like, should they have said the Corey story for the, I think they were probably scared that if they did that, a lot of people would pass on the movie. That's not my Michael Myers movie. I'm not going to go watch that. So maybe they had to try to, blend the best of. Did they even mention, Corey was in the trailer. We know that. And I think when you watch that trailer, if you see this character, and I got to admit, I think they kind of focused on Corey in the trailer. At least, maybe he wasn't the most important character in the trailer. I haven't watched the trailer in a long time, but he seemed very important. And this is a character that's never been in the franchise before. So I guess I wasn't completely locked into one certain expectation with ends from the trailer. I just wasn't, So it could be, and I'm not saying you guys are wrong, but it could be a situation where maybe you're looking for a reason to hate the movie. And I'm saying you don't hate the movie. You do. But sometimes you want to just gravitate towards the thing that's closest to you, and maybe it was the marketing. And so I don't know. I'm kind of talking my way into this and out of it, but yeah. So, but my worst thing is not the marketing, because the marketing didn't bother me, I would say I think the worst thing about Halloween Ends is I love the movie so much I have to think about it. I really have to think about it. I think maybe they should have introduced Corey earlier, Maybe they should have. Thank you, Shelby. That's, what? If you say that, you'll give the movie another watch based on me talking about it. Well, that's the ultimate compliment. And I don't like patting myself on the back, okay? But it was a really nice thing when I did my revisited for Ends, and I had so many people in the comments say, because of this review, I went back and watched the movie, and now I love it. I literally had quite a few people. You can scan the comments. You can find that. And I didn't expect that at all. I just wanted to talk about my experience with the movie after a year. But I'm not surprised. It's a very divisive film. And divisive films, not all of them, but I think many of them, they end up finding like a cult audience. And I think that's what happened with it. But yeah, I say my least favorite thing would be maybe they should have introduced Corey earlier, in the previous two movies, right? That's the only thing I can think of. I love it. I love the score. I love the cinematography. I loved Corey. I loved Allison. I loved Laurie. And I'm the first guy to give Laurie shit, okay? If you know me, you know that. This might be my favorite version of Laurie since the first movie. I shit you not. So it's tough, and I'm not even sure I wanted Corey introduced earlier, because that might have screwed things up. I don't know. How do you properly introduce him earlier in the story? I'm sure there's a way, but yeah, I wanted to start with Ends because I knew we would be on this one for a little bit. Yeah. Polly says, I don't need a reason. I just don't care about Halloween with the exception of Rob Zombie's 2 entries. I said what I said, period. Well, there you go. All right. Calm down. We'll get to Rob Zombie, okay? We'll definitely get to Rob Zombie. Chris says Hawkins was the biggest disappointment in the movie. He was wasted. Oh my God, Chris, I think that's my answer, actually. I think I want to change my answer. Yeah, Hawkins did absolutely nothing in Halloween Ends. That is so true. If that's a reason to be annoyed with the movie. I think I was so invested in Corey and what was going on that Hawkins was kind of an afterthought. But I felt like them trying to put him and Lori together was kind of shoehorned. You know, I didn't really buy their chemistry. So that's a good answer though, Chris, for sure. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Oh boy, here we go. Halloween Kill. I'm glad I started with the David Gordon Green trilogy because this one's going to be fun. This would be fun. All right. So I'm going to wait for you guys. Best thing, and it might be that picture right there. Best thing about Halloween Kills. Best thing about Halloween Kills. I want to know your answer. Yeah, the kills. I mean, it delivered on that promise. A brutal Michael. He should have been leading the charge against. He's talking about Hawkins, yeah. Kills, firefighter scene, best Michael Myers, worst the writing, the kills, kills. Yes, I think most people agree that the kills. Oh my God, the flashback. Beth, what's up? Everybody, welcome Beth. The score is phenomenal. Which I'm trying to think. I don't know if, like, of the trilogy, I think Ends might be my favorite score, but all three scores are just top notch, phenomenal. I would say, I'll give you my answer. The best thing about Halloween Kills for me is Michael fucking Myers. That's it. Just end of story. Michael is a force, a true juggernaut in Halloween Kills. If you want that version of Myers, Kills is your answer. Holy shit, man. He just plows through Haddonfield, and how dare you get in his way, right? And I love how he takes on the firefighters. That scene's freaking awesome. I love how that whole thing planned out, too, when the firefighter's inside the house and he's down in the basement. And then there's something so cool about when he reaches down and then Myers grabs his hand. And from the second he grabs that hand, you're like, oh, shit, here we go. From that moment, it's on. And boy, he's relentless. Michael Myers is completely pissed off in Halloween Kills. I don't know. Somebody pissed in his Cheerios, but man, they pissed with fire in his Cheerios. But damn, he is a force. And then at the very end, when he's confronted with the mob of Haddonfield, I love how I think Myers let them beat him first. I think I'm going to let you knock me down, and then I'm going to get up and I'm going to kill every one of you. You know? Yeah, definitely Michael Myers. Michael Myers was freaking amazing. Fluff, what's up, brother? How you doing? Yeah. Okay, guys, what's the worst thing about Halloween Kills? Worst thing about Halloween Kills. And I can imagine quite a few different answers. Probably the script, the dialogue, Evil Dies Tonight. What's the guy's name that they mistaken for? I had his name. It started with a T. What is it, guys? Jesus. Tivoli. Yeah, Tivoli. I think I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I'm not bullshitting. I didn't mind the Tivoli plot. I think they could have maybe went with a different shaped actor, you know. Although, has everybody in Haddonfield actually seen Michael Myers, like top to bottom, not just a headshot, but has everybody actually seen his whole body? Because if if you don't know who it is, then, you know, you can understand the confusion. So I give them the benefit of the doubt on that. I don't think everybody in Haddonfield knew exactly what Michael Myers looked like. Historically, though, maybe they would if it was like something in the news and they saw him. I don't know. But if they saw him in 78, that doesn't mean he can't, like, you know, chub up, right? So thank you, D. Gulag. I appreciate it. Happy New Year's Eve to you, too. So I can give them a pass with Tivoli, and I liked the misdirection because what they were trying to do was set up chaos in Haddonfield. That's the whole point of Halloween Kills is confusion and chaos, and Myers is just completely batshit crazy, and everybody underestimates him, you know, and you know, and guys, chaos causes confusion, right? We live in America. If you don't believe that, then you're not American, all right? Because there's no more confusion than this time in America. Everybody's divided, and I think that was the point of Halloween Kills. How do you make a movie and not make it politically driven, but still kind of pull some of the themes from the current day? I think Kills does it quite well, actually, because I don't think anybody was calling Kills woke or anything like that. I'm sorry I said that word. I shouldn't have even brought it up, but yeah, I think it handled that situation really well. So my answer, I'd say the worst thing about Kills might be Evil Dies Tonight. I think they said it way too many times. I don't I buy that a mob mentality. They do latch on to phrases and they can chant. That happens. We see it all the time in like freaking picket lines and what do you call it? Protests. Yeah, we see that all the time with protests. So I think people would like gather. They would come together and they would start chanting something. But I think narratively speaking, I think they should have limited it to maybe like 2, maybe 3 times. But it felt like they said it like way too many times. Has anybody ever counted how many times they say Evil Dies Tonight? I don't know. But every time, when you start going, oh, would you please stop saying that? That's when you start knowing that it's a little bit too much. Pumpkin Pies Tonight. I love that. Pumpkin Pies Tonight. Yeah. Oh. Hey, do you guys like my shirt? You thought it was a legit Price is Right shirt, didn't you? Okay. All right, next one. All right. Next one. Okay, so what are we on? Kills. All right, so next one. This one's, I think, a crowd pleaser. I think most people, they either like or they love Halloween 2018. It's my least favorite in the trilogy, and I still like it. I still have a really good time with it. Best thing about Halloween 2018, I'll go ahead and tell you mine, and I'll let you guys go ahead and tell me what's your favorite thing about Halloween 2018. God, that's. I was actually going to say the Smith's Grove scene, just because that's the first introduction to Myers after 40 years. And, Aaron holding up the mask to him. And man, I could feel like I was literally in the theater and I was shaking during that scene because I didn't know what was going to happen, And you see Myers clench a fist when he pulls the mask out. Yeah, that scene right there. But I don't know if I want to hold on to that. I think there's the bathroom kill scene. That's another one that really, I'd say, even though I say that's my least favorite of the trilogy, that bathroom scene might be my favorite kill out of the trilogy because it's not just a superficial type of kill. There's some emotion there. There's some fear there. And let's just put it this way. Before that bathroom scene, everybody was making jokes about how old Myers was. After that bathroom scene, everybody shut their fucking mouth. Everybody believed. Okay, now I believe this. I don't care how old he is. He is not human. That sucker, if he gets in the room with you, you are dead. You are dead. They sold it with that bathroom scene. So I think I'm going to say the bathroom scene. I think that's my favorite scene out of the bathroom scene. Okay. What'd Polly say? She said something funny? Hold on. If you guys start laughing, I got to see what you're saying. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me see what Polly said. Damn, where's it at? The end credits. Oh. Polly did not like 2018. Oh, man. That's my least favorite part, the end credits. No. Let's see. Okay, so what? Let me think. Let me read some of yours first. Okay. Michael trick-or-treating in Haddonfield. Damn good scene, Chris. That's a good pick. That's a damn good pick, for sure. Blu-ray Addict says Sartain Twist was horrible, and I'm not sure why they continue to unmask Michael in each of the David Gordon Green. You know what? That is a damn good point, Blu-ray Addict, because one of the things that I always loved about Myers growing up as a kid was that you never saw his face. Even when they marketed it in 5, You didn't really see his face, unless you own the Blu-ray, 20 years later, and then when he sits up in the Hermits, you can on the Blu-ray you can actually make out his face pretty well, old Don Shanks. But on VHS and back in the day in the theater, you didn't notice it. Maybe you were just it was in the background and you're looking at the foreground. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. They do show his face. Like I think they showed his face like in all 3 movies. That was annoying. I give them a pass for they had to do it in the beginning of 2018. But yeah. Joseph Vlog Guy, what's up, man? How are you doing? Am I buffering? Let me check. Hold on. I think I'm good. YouTube is not seeming to maintain an open widget. I don't need a widget. Guys, just tell me, am I good? We don't need no sneaking widget. Am I good, guys? Let me know. I think I'm good. All right. Karen's got you moment was pretty cool too. Yeah, that was a really cool moment. 2018's got a lot of cool moments actually. Okay, now, what's up, Lance? Now, my least favorite. Give me your least favorite of 2018. I think a lot of people are gonna state this one, but Sartain when he puts on the mask. That was I don't know, when they were sitting around the writers' table, why didn't somebody say, do we really want to do that? That's kind of a really stupid idea. We get the point. He's obsessed with Myers. Do we really need him to put on the mask? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it was a really stupid moment. I didn't like it when he put on the mask. And here's the kicker. It hurt me more than it hurt you because I loved Sartain as a character. He was kind of like the anti-Loomis. And I thought that was just really cool, it's almost like Bizarro Superman. We got Bizarro Loomis, right? What's Bizarro Loomis going to do? He's going to if Loomis goes left, Bizarro Loomis is going to go right? So I was always curious to see and I wish Sartain would have been in all 3 movies, to really send it home. I think that would have been so cool. I loved Sartain as a character, but man, they just it's just like they freaking balled him up and threw him out the fucking window at the end of the movie. Yeah, okay, we're done with him, So, yeah. Kind of annoying. Davey Deathray says, Happy New Year. The worst part of 2018 is that Vicky didn't live. I'm 5 subs away from 200. Any chance you would give the channel a shout out? Guys, right now, go to Davey's channel. Give him that push. All right? Get him to 200. It's a good feeling. When you pass that milestone. Yeah. Help him out, guys. Davey Deathray. Go to his channel. I'd love for him to hit 200 in this stream. That would be amazing. Beth, get on to him. Tell him to go. All right? Damn it. Okay. Beth says, yes, Sartain was a big what the fuck moment. Also, I can't eat peanut butter anymore after this movie. I actually had another whole section of this stream about Ray. We're going to get there. It's not in this countdown. All right? No, I'm not going to do it. I'll wait until we get there. Okay? What the hell were they thinking, though? I get the peanut butter on my penis. Stupid. All right. Yeah. Blu-ray Addict did it. Thanks. Yeah. You guys rock. All right. Now let's start getting crazy. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And guys, there's a meme right there. I mean, you could make some kind of meme out of that, right? Like him whispering in her ear. Somebody make a meme out of that, for God's sake. That's just begging for it. Let me think. Hold on. Let me think of something he could say that would be funny in her ear. Did you know on Wednesdays you can get a Sonic Junior cheeseburger for half off? Something like that. That'd be great. And you could run with that. You could have all kinds of different opportunities there. What if he said it's always best to eat low calorie mayonnaise as opposed to the fully fat mayonnaise? But you got to word it better, okay? Not like an idiot like me. But yeah, just something mundane, right? That'd be great. That'd be a great meme, actually. Man. Okay. Worst thing about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I'm sure I'm going to get a bevy of possibilities. Damn, we might spend this whole stream on this. I'm only on Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Jesus. Devin Collins says, Myers was a fucking beast in kills. And no one can convince me that Cameron didn't get it the worst in kills. You know, Devin, that's a really good topic that I've thought about. Which character in the entire franchise got the worst beatdown? You know? Got the worst... Like, there's cool kills, but some cool kills just, they end you like that. But I would say Cameron is a front runner for just, I mean, my God. He was... I would say that Cameron was probably paralyzed before he died. I would bet the way he pushed his neck straight down on the banister... Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah, I think he was probably paralyzed before Michael killed him. Michael probably did him a favor, if I'm being honest. Like, Jesus. Just because, I mean, he probably couldn't move from the neck down. He would have to be, right? Eric says, worse, what they did to Laurie in the director's cut. Director's cut of this movie? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that looked pretty painful. Didn't they just shoot her in the director's cut, Erica? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I know the theatrical cut, she walks outside, she lives, and she takes off the Myers mask. So, Michael Myers. There you go, guitarist. Yeah. So, my least favorite thing about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, damn, it ain't the cinematography, I'll tell you that. Probably Loomis. Yeah, probably Loomis. I love everything about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I just don't really care. But you know what? Even Loomis kind of fits in with the tone and what they're going for with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. You know? Oh, okay, Erica. Yeah, they shot her, but I mean, think about Cameron. Like, that guy suffered for quite a while before he died. You know? Also, I think another contender might be Laurie's mother in Rob Zombie's Halloween 1. He took his time on her, too. I don't think she suffered as much as Cameron did, though. Yeah. The stripper bouncer that says, don't give me no reason. Yeah. White Horse. See, I don't mind the White Horse, actually, because it fits in with what they're trying to, I got what they were doing with the White Horse, it fit in with like Laurie's psyche and she's screwed up in the head and her connection with, is it Deborah Myers? Yeah, Deborah Myers and all that. So yeah, I actually kind of dug the White Horse, and maybe that's why I like Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends is really reaching out, and let's try something, instead of going straight down the narrow, let's try something really weird that might piss some people off. But that's kind of what they did with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And I think that's why I love it so much. It's ballsy. It just takes risks, Give me a risk, right? So now, the best thing, what would be the best thing about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? This is tough because I love the movie so much. Jesus. I mean, do I want to say cinematography? Like, cinematography is really great, but I really like Myers in this one too. Myers is brutal. What's up, Mega Cat? How you doing? Daniel Harris was cool in it. I think, Scout really earned her keep in this one. Like, I didn't think Scout was nothing to write home about in the first movie, but she really brought it in the Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So I'm trying to think, though, what is my favorite thing about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? It might be Jeff Daniel Phillips. Can you loan me some bones? I can't afford the new tits. Come on. That's almost like Tarantino dialogue. Yeah. I do love Jeff Daniel Phillips. Man, he can do no wrong. Man, I got to think about that, though. Probably Annie's death scene in the director's cut. Annie's death scene is really great. But, I mean, it makes you sad. Like, it's really, really sad. The whole hospital sequence is great. I don't know. There's a lot of greatness about it. And enjoy the herpes, old man. Yeah. I swear, I could watch a Halloween movie and just have Jeff Daniel Phillips do dialogue for 2 hours, and I'd be happy. He's just got, like when he walks to the door, even when he doesn't talk, he walks to the door and he flexes, he does that before he walks out. Yeah. Don't give me no reason. Yeah. It's great. All right. Let's move on to Rob Zombie's Halloween. I'm going to have to move faster on these. Okay. Rob Zombie's Halloween. My favorite thing about Rob Zombie's Halloween, I guess I would say the adult Myers section. And I know that's kind of cheating because I'm giving you a broad stroke there, but I do like the adult Myers section. The kids section, not so much. I'm trying to narrow it down for you, though. Like, is there a specific scene that I really like? Because I do think the final act, it goes on too long. I think it gets to a point where you're like, okay, let's go ahead and wrap it up. And you never want to say that in a Halloween. I think Halloween series, it's known for its great final acts, right? But if it goes too long, then you're like, gee, okay, I get now. Can we end this? Because how many times do you have to pump the 2x4 in the ceiling? Do you have to do that for 5 minutes straight? We get the point, right? So yeah, I think it went on way too long. I think the David Gordon Green trilogy, all the final acts were great. They ended when they needed to end, right? So I guess I'll just say the adult version of Myers. I think Tyler Mane was a good Myers too. But now worst thing, that's easy. That's the white trash characters. I'm sorry, I don't know a nicer way to call it. But yeah, I just don't. I don't want white trash characters in Halloween movies. And to be fair, it's not all the way through white trash characters, okay? And I'd say it's even much to a lesser extent in the present day scenes, with Laurie and Annie and Linda. But boy, it starts off rough. I'd even say that opening, it's probably my least favorite, even though I laugh my ass off at it every time. But yeah, I think Myers being 6'10" is. Yeah, I think that's too tall for Myers. Myers isn't supposed to be like this hulking beast, right? I think he's supposed to be somewhere around like 6 feet. I think that's a good range for him. So, yeah. Bobby Digital says How Michael Escapes is the worst. Well, yeah, you're probably talking about the director's cut. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much. Chris says, shut your mouth, Lee, Ronnie. See, that's the thing, too. I do love Ronnie, and I hate him. You know what I mean? It's like, I love this character. Can you please put him in a different movie? Yeah. So, like, I would watch a whole movie with Ronnie in like a buddy comedy or something like that. And he could keep the cast on. So, all right. So now let's move on to Resurrection. Oh boy. Wow. The best thing about Resurrection. Jesus. I think the best thing for me is probably the score, and it ain't even that great of a score. Some people are going to say Freddy. Some people really liked Freddy in this movie, and I think you're not wrong if you can get some kind of excitement out of Freddy. Then I think if you want to watch Halloween Resurrection like it's a comedy, then Freddy might be your favorite thing about the movie. Okay. But when I'm in like a frame of mind for a Halloween movie, Freddy's kind of annoying. Yeah, so I guess the best thing for me, I'd say the cinematography is nice. The cinematography is even nicer than H2O. It's pretty nice cinematography. It's a nice looking 4K for sure. And that's sad when that's the best thing you can say about a movie, Busta was the best thing about this movie. And Blade Brown, you might be right. In credits was decent. Drumdums. Freddy is a great character. He's memorable. He's definitely memorable for sure. Opening scene. See, even the opening scene with Laurie, it felt rushed. Like, okay, we need to get Laurie out of here as quick as possible so we can move on to actually what we want to do with this movie. That's what the intro to Resurrection felt like. Like you get mad at Laurie in David Gordon Green's trilogy, holy shit. Wait till you see Resurrection. If you watch Michael literally hands her a check as she's falling down, on her death. That's how quick she's in and out of the movie. They wanted to take care of it. We got to take care of this business. Let's get her paid and get her the hell out of here, right? All right. Did I say my least favorite? What's my least favorite? Jesus. All of them. That was pretty stupid. Wow. I mean, take your pick. There's like a million horrible things about Resurrection, right? The characters are pretty bad. They're pretty bad. But I don't want to say it's just the characters. The kills are. You know what? No. Here's my answer. Here it is, guys. And nobody else is going to say this. I'm going to be the only one to say this. Okay, you ready? The worst thing about Halloween Resurrection is the snake hiss. You know what I'm talking about. What do I mean by the snake hiss? It's like every time he pulls the knife, why do we got to hear a snake rattle? I don't get that. Like who put that in there? Who put a snake rattle in a Halloween movie? And also not just the snake rattle, but the knife being removed from a metal sheath. Do you know that sound? And they do this in all kinds of movies too. You hear that. They do it in action movies all the time. The knife will be in a leather holster, which will not make a sound whatsoever, but they'll still make a rubbing metal sound as the knife comes out. I don't know why they do that, but they got to do it, But a snake rattle, where did that come from? Like, who thought that up? What would make Michael really, really scary? If when he's about to attack you, you hear a snake rattle. The dirty they did to Katie Sackhoff. Yeah, they lopped her head clean off. Yeah, she has a YouTube video about Resurrection too on her YouTube channel. It's pretty interesting if you check it out. It's kind of funny. She does talk about the bra scene. She says the scene where she's with the American Pie guy, and she pulls up her shirt, and you see the black bra. She says that's not her. But the problem is she didn't know that they put that in there. They did that behind her back when she went and watched the movie. She's like, when did they film that? Because that was not me. So they used a body double, but they don't even show breasts. It's kind of weird. I guess maybe after she left, they said, hey, maybe she won't do this. Maybe it's not in her contract, but we need to get the scene. So they brought in a double to get a bra scene. Jesus. Okay. Next one, my favorite movie in the franchise, Halloween H2O. Just kidding. Oh my God. Okay, I'll say the best thing about, this is an easy one actually. I don't even have to think about this one. The best thing about Halloween H2O is Laurie Strode, by far. I'd say she's even better than she is in the first two David Gordon Green movies. I think I prefer her in Ends, but I think that's unfair to say that. She's probably better in this than she is even in Ends. Let's put it this way. If Laurie Strode, if they didn't get her right, or God forbid, if Laurie Strode wasn't even in this movie and this was just another victim like they were originally going to do, H2O would have been far worse than Resurrection. Okay? Because it misses on so many levels for me. Davey Deathray says the first act's really fun. I do like that. And that's where you're like, oh, they're going to have the curse mask in the rest of the movie. I literally thought that when I first watched this in the theater. That scene, I'm like, oh shit, they're going to use the curse mask. This is going to be so cool. I can't wait to see it. Wait, what? The next scene, the curse mask is gone, and then they're just bouncing all over the place. It's just a mess. So, final battle, Chris. Yeah, it's a great final battle. Now, I was just complaining about Rob Zombie's Halloween, the final battle being too long. I think the final battle in H2O is too short. I think they could have stretched it out a little longer. It's like literally like We're going in the hallway. We're falling off the balcony onto the first floor into the cafeteria. We're loading up the body. And then we're heading to the Halloween 4 embankment. And then, we have she lops his head off. That's it. I just pretty much beat by beat gave you the rundown of the final act of H2O. It's quick. I think it goes way too quick. Joseph Vlog Guy, yes, I did. I've seen every Halloween movie in the theater since 4, chronologically. I did see the first one in the theater twice, once in 2006, and then I think 2015 I saw the first. So I've seen the first one twice in the theater. But yeah, that's always been a goal of mine. I got to see every Halloween movie in the theater, usually opening night. I almost missed because I was in Japan for 3 years. And that's when I was in Japan from 2006 to 2009. And when did Rob Zombie's Halloween come out? 2007. And then Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 came out in 2009. So that was I really had to work some magic to be able to see it because there was no guarantee that everything was going to be playing on the base theater there, right? But luckily they got Rob Zombie's Halloween, but they didn't get Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But I left Japan on Halloween, like right before Halloween, the day in 2009. And if you remember, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 came out in August. Well, they did a special screening 2 nights only for October 30th and 31st. And I just got back stateside. And I was like, so yeah, I saw it. It was just me, my wife, and my niece. That's it. For Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But yeah. So yeah, I didn't say the worst thing. The worst thing about H2O, oh my God, I could take the score. It's a nice, lovely sounding score, but it's, one, not scary, and two, it sounds like Scream because they just pretty much did a copy paste, and three, it's Halloween should never be orchestral. It should be simple. You can get a little creative, and he does that with the David Gordon Green trilogy, but it still doesn't feel like an orchestra. It feels just a couple of instruments, and that's why it works so well. So every time that freaking score comes into play in Halloween, it might work in other horror movies because it was the 90s. They were using that music all over the place. But get it out of my Halloween movie. Okay, so yeah, maybe I'll just say that. No, my least favorite is Michael Myers. Nothing against Chris Duran. Seems like a really nice guy, and he was great in Scream. But, it's just the body type. I don't know what it is, but he just didn't suit Myers. He was pigeon-toed, which was weird. There's are examples, I think, on YouTube of why this is not Myers. There's certain, like he's walking down this little path in the woods when he's coming after John Strode and his girlfriend, Michelle Williams. And it's like they did a take, but he didn't know they were doing a take. He was just kind of, walking like, lollygagging, just walking through. Oh, the cameras were rolling. You're going to keep that? It was like that. It just felt like, little moments like that. It just, easily my least favorite Myers, for sure. Yeah, the eyes looked ridiculous. Thank you, Brandon. Good point. Yeah. Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols Myers. I've never heard that one before. Yeah. Myers walks like Charlie Chaplin in H2O. That's it, guitars. For years I've been wondering, what is that walk? Because it's not Myers, but I couldn't fit. But it's familiar. You just nailed it. It's Charlie Chaplin. So now I just ruined H2O for all of you that like it, because now every time you watch it, you're going to think of Charlie Chaplin every time you see Myers. Yeah, he's just a horrible Myers. Horrible Myers. Okay, horrible. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, I'm going to give you both curses because there's a producer's cut. Okay, so this is the theatrical cut. My favorite part about the theatrical cut, and this is one of my favorite movies in the franchise. Probably, man, it's tough because I want to say George P. Wilbur, because he is a great Myers. He was scary. George P. Wilbur was scary. Did he have the perfect body type? I don't think so. I mean, he definitely looked a little, he didn't look fat, but he just had a certain, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? He just had a certain build that was a little off, but he was scary as hell. He was great. But yeah, it's like Chris says, the atmosphere, man, I tell you, if you want great Halloween atmosphere, look no further than Halloween 6. And now, as far as the theatrical cut goes, I dig, and this might be controversial, but I really dig the score. It's kind of a rocked out type of score. They got like Alan Howarth came in. They said, "Hey, do what you want," and he came in with like electric guitars, but he still somehow made it scary. It sounded like metal slamming against metal during like the chase scenes. The bam, bam, and it's just you know what I'm talking about. You've seen the movie, but. Yeah, it almost, I call it like the Terminator score. It feels like a Terminator score in the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut, it pumps you with so much steroids that when you go and watch the producer's cut, the score feels very watered down, and it's just like the traditional score, the Halloween score. Maybe that's what it is. It just doesn't feel original enough, Yeah, so that's the best thing about the theatrical. I think the worst thing about the theatrical cut. I got it. Worst thing about the theatrical cut, I wanted more Loomis, I think. And that might be the best thing about the producer's cut. I think I needed more Loomis in there because I love everything else about the I mean, you might say it's a crazy freaking it's a crazy story, Thank you, Brett. I appreciate that, man. That's why I made the cut, because I was frustrated with both cuts. And I wanted to make the perfect cut, or quote unquote perfect cut. But yeah. So did I give you the worst? I think I did. I forgot what I said, but I think I did. Okay. Holly said theatrical cut. Yeah, Holly, I agree. I much prefer the theatrical cut. Okay. Jumping into the producer's cut, I will say the worst thing about the did we start with worst? No, best. Best thing about the producer's cut is, I think, character building, more character dialogue. And a lot of those scenes were really nice. It was a nice little surprise, especially after seeing it after 19 years. Guys, this was my holy grail of home video releases. I had the crusty old VHS bootleg. And, nobody ever thought it would see the light of day. We didn't even know if there was an actual print of it anywhere. And then they found out that they had an interpositive. They found an interpositive. Sometimes these things will be lost. And then they just like by accident are found in some guy's freaking attic somewhere. That happens. So thank God they found it. And it was a beautiful transfer. So, yeah. Now, worst thing about the producer's cut is the entire final act. Okay, every bit of that final act is just atrocious. Because one reason, they're controlling Myers pretty much the whole time. And Myers doesn't just kind of stand by and like say, "Yes, Daddy, what do you want me to do?" That's not Myers. Myers is uncontrollable. He's a force, and they beat him with rocks. It was really a dumb third act. So I can see why they went in over a weekend and reshot the entire third act, and I think they did it behind the producer's back, the Accads. Because, people give Joe Chappelle a lot of crap, but I like that he's not afraid to make a decision. He wasn't a yes man, at least to that extent. I mean, he changed them, the final act of the movie behind the producer's back. Most directors aren't going to take that kind of risk, But he did. And you know what? I think we got the better cut out of the movie, if I'm being honest. The end of Halloween 6 always kind of sends a chill down my spine, the theatrical cut, when you hear the scream of Loomis. And when I first saw this in the theater, you didn't really know what happened. Did Myers kill him? Why is he screaming like, I don't know. And I like the what if, the question mark at the end of it. It's kind of cool. One thing I do like about the final act, though, I will say, is the very end, just from a visual standpoint. I think from a story standpoint, it was stupid. because they already did that in. Well, I guess this was the first one to do it because Resurrection's after. So was the Producer's Cut of 6 the one that did the bait and switch? Was that the first one to do that? I think it was. So I guess I got to give it credit. I did like the bait and switch there, but everything before the bait and switch was really stupid. So Brett says, saddest part of 6 is hearing Loomis scream at the end and knowing we'd never see him again due to Pleasance's passing. Yeah, that hit me hard. That definitely hit me hard, Brett. Man, I still miss Donald Pleasance. He was, and I've come to the conclusion that maybe he's just, you can't cast that character to satisfaction. You pretty much have to accept that it's not going to be Donald Pleasance. And you got to accept a different version of the character, right? Because, there's actors that do really good acting jobs on the part. And then there's actors that become the character. And that's what Donald Pleasance did. He was Loomis. There was no question. When you watched him on screen, not once did you say, oh, he's acting, Most of the time, in the back of our minds, when we're watching any TV show on Netflix or anything like that, we know that there's acting going on. It might be decent acting, but you know that there's acting, right? They're doing their part. Loomis was one of those rare characters, or should I say Pleasance was one of those rare actors that just got lost in a role, and you felt like he was actually Loomis. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, we did producers. There's my picture for producers. Okay. So, oh, boy, here we go. Halloween 5. This is like I guess this would be my guilty pleasure movie because I love this movie to death. But if you tell me, that it's got like 8,000 problems, I can't argue with you. You're right. But, man, I have a blast with Halloween 5. So, favorite part about Halloween 5. Nicholas, oh my God. Yeah, you just pretty much answered my question for the worst. But favorite part for Halloween 5, man, I would say probably I like the final act. I really do. I think the final act kind of saves the movie in terms of it being a quote-unquote good movie. I have really come around to Tina. Like for some reason, and I didn't plan this, but every time I watch the movie, I have a good time with Tina. I like when Tina's on screen, and that's the weirdest thing for me because I used to hate Tina, and I don't know, was it the internet that did that to me? I don't know. Maybe it's my age. I don't know what it is, but I like that Tina was different. Maybe it's because all these other Halloween movies have come out since, and when you stand back and look at it all the characters, all the final girls, Tina stands out. And that goes a long way with me. She doesn't blend in. I think that is Cara Strode's biggest fault. Is from when's the last time you said Cara Strode? Okay, think about that. She's just not a character that ever gets mentioned. Did she do a decent job on the part? Sure, she did a fine job, but she just didn't do anything memorable, right? She doesn't stand out. Tina, chewing up freaking scenery, she's going out of her way. She's even trying to be annoying. But when you stand back from it all, after you've watched all these movies, you like Tina. She stands out. And that goes a long way for me. So, yeah. So, least favorite part of Halloween 5 would definitely be the death of Rachel. I think that was just a cardinal sin. I think they should have, because she was just such a beloved character. She's like probably top 3 favorite characters of the franchise for me. I prefer Rachel Carruthers over Laurie Strode. That is a very controversial statement, but it's part of its nostalgia. And I was in love with Ellie Cornell when I saw this in the theater, and but I've always loved how she fought for Jamie. Trina, how are you doing? Nice to see you. She fought tooth and nail for Jamie. She went right into the danger. She didn't run. So that's what I loved about Rachel. So yeah, killing off Rachel. That's my least favorite for 5. Let's go to Halloween 4. God damn, look at that picture. Jesus, that is... You want atmosphere? Man, we got it by the pound. Wow, that is a great freaking photo. That makes a shitty mask look good. That's what that image does. Jesus. Halloween 4. Well, Halloween 4, I'll go ahead and tell you right now. Davey, did you hit 200 yet? Let me know. I'll go ahead and tell you right now. My favorite thing about Halloween 4 is the ending. And man, there are a lot of favorite things about this movie. This is my second favorite movie of the franchise. And it's going to be cemented in the second place probably until I die. It's so freaking good. It's so important to me. But the ending is so important because it scared the living shit out of me. Like literally scared me to death. Okay? I can't really say. There's been a few moments in the franchise that sent a chill, like the bathroom scene in 2018. But I mean nightmares. Like it really screwed me up for quite a while. That I was not prepared for that ending. And I was 15 at the time. So, if I watched that today, it probably wouldn't do much. But back then, yeah, it messed me up. It messed the whole audience. There was just a massive gasp in the theater when it happened. So, yeah. Great freaking moment. One of my all-time favorite twist endings, honestly. And that's silly to say in the fourth movie in a franchise, but no apologies. No apologies whatsoever. Richard Strange says, best of 4, beginning, bandaged up, and ending. Yeah. The bandage. I love the bandage sequence. That whole section is really cool. The thumb and the forehead. Guys, do you know, I always forget, did they get a guy that like lost his thumb for that part? Because sometimes they'll do that. They'll get somebody that's like lost an appendage or something like that. I think they would have to, right? I don't know. Because you can't do that trick where you do with the kids, where you like hide the thumb and you show it to the kid and the kid thinks you're moving your finger. They can't trick us like that. Yeah. So yeah, I guess the worst is definitely the mask, because there's nothing outside of the mask that is bad in this movie. To me, I love every single frame of Halloween 4. It is just, I was just talking about tried and true slashers. The slasher movie that has all the boxes checked. It's got everything you want in a great slasher movie. This pretty much has it. It doesn't have the full-blown nudity, but it comes damn close with Kelly Maker. At least it's what's the word I'm looking for? It gets you, it's titillating, okay? It is titillating. All right? Yeah. 80s shoulder pads were the worst. They should have outlawed, I think they did in the 90s. I think it was illegal to wear shoulder pads after that. Blonde hair mask scene. Yeah. One away from 200. Oh, guys, Davey is one away from 200. Come on, let's get him there. You can do it. Does 5 have nudity? No, it doesn't. 5 does not have nudity. 6 does, though. 6 has got nudity. For sure. Just a little scene, but yeah. Halloween's never been known for nudity anyway, Even, the first one definitely had some nudity, though, right? Second one, full blown. Yeah, second one definitely had nudity. Third one, little bit. Robert De Niro, little bit. Okay. All right, here we go. Speaking of Halloween 3, there you go. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Guys, when this movie first came out, everybody loved it. They thought it was the bee's knees, guys. They thought this was one of the greatest freaking horror movies, not only in the Halloween franchise, but of all time. They couldn't get enough of this movie, But all you heard was like crickets. You couldn't really hear anything outside your door because there was no internet. Can you imagine if there was internet back then? Can you imagine if Halloween 3 came out today? If you think, I'm gonna make a claim right now. I think it would have been worse than Halloween Ends, if I'm being honest. I think it would have been. I think the outcry and the rage and the anger and the how dare you would be worse than Halloween Ends. I really do. Okay? And you bitch about marketing for Ends? Oh boy. Have I got a story to tell you. I watched Halloween 3 for 45 minutes straight thinking Michael Myers was in it. Okay? 45 minutes straight. And I was like, I'm looking at every inch of the frame. I'm looking in the top corner. I'm skinamarink this bitch, and I can't find the guy anywhere. Sure enough, oh my God, this isn't a Michael Myers movie. It's like you ever go to a meeting that you didn't mean to go to? Like you should have went to this meeting, but you ended up going to this meeting, or you were just like, the meeting was scheduled for a Thursday and you showed up on a Wednesday. That's what it was like, right? Now, come years later, everybody on the internet's saying, I love Halloween 3. It's the bee's knees. I can't think of a movie better than Halloween 3. I was there from the beginning. I loved it to death. Bullshit. You hated it when you first saw it. Asshole. You were just like me. Don't you lie. Unless you saw it like within the last 5 years and you were already caught up on, the word about it from everybody. You knew the scoop. Because everybody now, oh, you've never seen Halloween 3? Oh, man, let me set you up, okay? You're going to get freaking Tom Atkins. He's awesome in this. Not a Michael Myers movie, okay? You're going to get Stacey Nelkin, who is just an adorable sidekick to Chalice, one of the coolest guys ever. You got this guy who wants to kill every kid on the planet. What's not to love, right? So... But if you saw it back in 1980-ish, anywhere in the 80s, like me, I'm telling you right now, everybody hated this movie when it first came out. And you don't like ends? Holy shit. You just wait, all right? Everybody's trying to front, but everybody needs to fess up, okay? All right, I forgot what I was talking about. Jesus. Okay, best part of Halloween 3. Best part of Halloween 3. Jesus. All right, Davey, congratulations, man. He officially hit 200. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yes. That is awesome. Hell yeah. Megan knows. Megan, tell him what's up, man. Tell him what it was like. It was not a good time to be a Halloween fan when Halloween 3 came out, okay? And everybody started doing Kumbaya and holding hands in circles when the internet came about. You got freaking Christian Hannah over there saying Halloween 3 is the greatest Halloween movie ever made. It wasn't like that in the 80s, guys, okay? It was not like that in the 80s at all. And I love Halloween 3. Now, I've come around to it, but yeah, I had to get therapy, though, to get there. It took me a while, right? I think it was every Tuesday and Thursday I went to therapy for it. And I'd sit down in the chair, and they were like, why are you here? Halloween 3. Oh, shit. Okay. I got 3 more people behind you that need to talk about Halloween 3. So, yeah. It took some therapy, but I got there. And now I love it to death. Okay? Best thing is Tom Atkins, for sure. That's an easy answer. Tom Atkins. You can't go wrong with Tom Atkins. He is amazing. Although, Stacey Nelkin, she's right up there, too. I love Stacey Nelkin. There's a lot of great things about Halloween 3. It's so fun. But I can only give you a couple things. All right, so the Cheese Whiz scene, Blade Brown. Was there a Cheese Whiz scene? Different movie? Lee, we need to have a Halloween 3 watch party. Yeah, that would be fun. We should do that. Oh, yeah, the music, the score is great by freaking Carpenter and Howarth. Yeah, the end, one of the best endings in the franchise. Stop it! Now, as far as least favorite things go, I will say, and I'll say there's one thing that bothered me when I first saw this, when I hated the movie, that kind of has still stayed with me, even though I love the movie to death now. If you take off that amazing ending, with the telephone, I think the final act isn't as strong as everything before it. The start and the middle. I think like when I first saw the movie, when you got robot Stacey Nelkin coming after Dan in the car, and then she just like keeps coming after him 4 or 5 times. And I started getting, back then I was getting really annoyed. Now it doesn't bother me so much, but I still think that's, if I had to pick it apart, complain about anything, maybe the final act could have been tightened up a little bit. Not saying it's too long. It just feels like something's missing. I think that's what it is. It feels like something's missing with the final act. Okay? And it's still a good final act. I still like it. Like, guys, it's hard for me to find anything I don't like about 3. I love 3. All right? But, oh yeah, Silver Shamrock song. It's hard to get out of your head once you've heard it. They do, like, that's the Evil Dies Tonight of Halloween 3, the Silver Shamrock song. Nobody ever says that, but it's true. Davey says, putting the Halloween TV trailer in the film, it would have been better if this existed in the same world as Michael instead of existing in our world. Very true. Very true. And I think that's just more fun, because now if you say it's in our world, then how do you explain the TV? You know? Then it's kind of would it be like a meta type thing? You know? Now we're entering like Scream territory. You know? Stab. Was he watching not Halloween, but Stab? But they say Halloween. They say the Immortal Classic. Do they say Halloween though? I can't remember. Okay. Let's go Halloween 2. Halloween 2. All right. Finger in the butt. Okay. Best thing about Halloween 2 is I'll say the final act. It's Time, Michael. That is Loomis giving his life for Laurie. Loomis really took charge in this movie. I'd say he might have even topped himself from the first movie. This might be my favorite version of Loomis. You know, Dick Warlock was a great Myers here. A particular moment when the chase is on. You know, that music, man. Oh, I love that music. But when Laurie's going into the elevator, you know, they're downstairs, I think in the basement, and he's coming towards her just nice and slow. Yeah, that's a great moment. That's tension. You don't always have tension to that level, but yeah. He was giving her the Halloween goose. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the goose. Oh, God, that was good, Trina. I needed that. Oh, Jesus. And that's the best part. The Halloween goose. No, yeah, so yeah, I said the best part. Bud too. You got to mention Bud. Bud's song in the break room. Yeah, I love Bud. Yeah, Bud is great. Bud's one of the funnest characters in the franchise. Okay, Bud should have had his own like spinoff movie, with maybe another killer or something like that. I don't know. He's just kind of hanging out in other like slasher movies. That'd be cool. Bud could be like the thread between all slasher movies, tying them all together. Put Bud in like a Friday movie. Hell yeah. Bud would, it's like, I think Bud was actually he was a Friday the 13th character that got trapped in a Halloween movie. Like he showed up, like the actor showed up to the wrong set. He was supposed to be in like Friday part 3, but he ended up in Halloween 2. Or I guess that'd be Friday part 2. Yeah, because that's 81. But yeah. Smoking a joint in the hospital break room. Yeah. Oh yeah. So worst thing about Halloween 2, I think just comatose Laurie. It's like they didn't know what to do with her for like a good 30 minutes of the movie. And she's just kind of laying there in the bed, and you'd have Jimmy checking on her, getting her a Coke. You know, just nothing really going on in the middle of the movie. Myers kind of just roaming. I'd say right now, it's a worse version of the movie, but pacing-wise, the TV cut of Halloween 2, I think, is better paced. Everything else is much worse. Like it's one of the craziest edited movies I've ever seen, like for a TV show. Like I guarantee you, the editor that had to do the TV cut was high as a kite on cocaine. Or maybe he had never seen the movie and they just gave him the footage. They didn't even tell him which order it went in. I don't know, because it's all over the place. It's funny though. And a couple of scenes that weren't in the movie make it in there too, which is nice. So yeah. Trina says, I love the news reporters and the Night of the Living Dead playing in the background of the different scenes. The Halloween aesthetic was just so good. Yes. There's so many movies. I could probably do a top 10 of movies that had Night of the Living Dead playing on a TV somewhere, because it's like public domain. And so a lot of filmmakers, they're like, oh, okay, I can use that for free. Right. And it just happens to be one of the greatest horror movies ever made. Okay. Last one. Here we go. Halloween 1978. The best. And I'm going to predict the worst. What you guys said that's the worst about this movie. I think a few of you will mention it. But we'll start with the best. Man. Oh my God. This is my all-time favorite movie. What's the best thing about Halloween? Damn. You know, it's weird. Like, it's my favorite movie, but it's probably not my favorite final act. I know it's not my favorite final act, you know? There are characters that I probably like better than these characters, but I think it's the sum of the parts. You know what I mean? I think it's John Carpenter. John Carpenter is my favorite part of this movie. I just figured it out. It's his direction. It's seamless. You know? It's just perfectly directed. But if I had to give you a second answer, it would be simplicity. I love the simplicity of this movie and how you can theorize all these different things because there's just a lot of space in Halloween, you know, to come up with. Even Rob Zombie said that when he was doing Halloween, the reason he did the remake was because of all the space to play around, you know. But maybe that's a lesson in why there's space and why simple is the best. Because when you start playing around and trying different things, I think there's more of a chance for it to fail than succeed. But you know, there's a reason it's probably one of the most watched horror movies of all time. I think that's a safe bet. Every year, I think most people watch Halloween. Hell, there's probably people that don't even care for Halloween that probably still watch it every October. So, yeah. And I think they did a great job, even though they filmed it in like the spring, of making it feel like fall. It really feels like fall. So, and the least favorite part, is her dropping the knife. That's it. That's the easy answer. Dropping the knife. It's one of the biggest. Even freaking Jamie Lee Curtis complained about that. You know, she said to John, "Why do I have to keep dropping this knife?" He's like, "Because we don't have a movie. If you keep the knife, you got to drop the knife." So the dropping the knife is the Evil Dies Tonight. Does every Halloween movie have their own Evil Dies Tonight? I don't know. Which band would you choose to remake Halloween soundtrack? Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails? Well, he has him and Atticus Ross, they have a cover of John Carpenter's Halloween, the theme. And it's really great. It's really great. So, yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, though. Like, going forward, you know, because I highly doubt John Carpenter and company are going to be doing the score again. And I'm kind of excited about that because I'm ready for some new blood behind the keyboard. You know, because we've had this 3 times, and I'm sure it would be awesome. But yeah, and you know what? Let's switch over to that. Let's switch over to the future of the Halloween franchise. I was walking before the stream, and I started thinking. You know, that's, you guys ever do that? Yeah, when you go for a walk, all these ideas just start coming to you. You know, if I'm sitting on a couch, I can't think of nothing. But when I go for a walk, or even when I'm like exercising, it's just like the ideas just flow in, right? And this might be a stupid, horrible idea, but yeah. So let me pull up my idea, even though I probably remember it, but okay. The best new direction. I'm going to give you 5. These are 5 ways, 5 things you need for the new direction. And these are just my ideas, okay? For the new direction of Halloween. All right? These are just my ideas. First thing, well, let me say this. The reason I got this idea was because I watched The Batman again last night. And it dawned on me. I was like, that's what they should do. That's what they should do because, and by the way, oh my God, The Batman, one of the freaking greatest movies to come. I'm like, I've watched it like 5 times now, and I just love it. Like, it's so intoxicating. Like, you can just get lost in that movie, you know? It's one of those movies like you just, like, you You just like soak in the dialogue, for lack of a better word, right? It's just really good. But as I'm watching that, I was just thinking, oh my God, that's what they should do with Halloween, because they didn't tell Bruce's origin story. They just started from year 2, right? So what I think, if they bring Myers back, and I'm just talking about the movie side of things, they're probably going to do a TV series. And if they bring Myers into the TV series, that's fine. You know, I think Myers belongs on the big screen. But if they, you know, I talked about my multiverse idea, and that's out there. You know, that idea in the Halloween camp, not from me, but Daniel Harris, and I did a whole video on this. It's on Drumdums Extra. Make sure you subscribe to Drumdums Extra. But there's a clip. I clipped it out, and it's Daniel Harris talking with Scout Taylor Compton about her possibly coming back to the franchise. But she did mention the word multiverse is floating around in the Halloween camp, and I was like, whoa! I literally was just talking about this. I didn't dare think that they were actually doing it. Not saying they're doing it because of me. I'm just saying the idea is out there. So just to rip the Band-Aid off, what I think they should do is I think they should, number one, they need to get a damn good director. They need to take this seriously. You don't want to go getting Johnny First Time, you know, and not saying that, you know, hell, David Robert Mitchell, that was his first movie, It Follows. But I think you just gotta get somebody in the room that's gonna prove that they got the talent and they got the vision, right? And like an A24 type director, I think that could work for a Halloween film. Does it have to be that? No, but Ty West is a name that's been thrown around after what he's done with X and Maxine and Pearl. I think he is really well suited for Halloween. So I would love if I think they need to get a really great, competent director with a vision that loves the franchise. And like I can use H2O for an example. It's already been proven. Steve Miner, he didn't give a shit about the franchise. Because if you gave a shit about the franchise, what's the most important thing? One of the most important things in the franchise, the mask. And as a director, that's information that should be in front of you at all times and very early on in production. But he found out way too late. So, yeah, I think they need a director that's going to come in and say, oh my God, Halloween, it's freaking my life. I love this franchise to death. I'm really curious. And they don't have to be a Halloween fanatic, but they got to have some kind of vision and they got to be hungry. I have an idea for this franchise that I think could be really, really cool. Eli Roth, I think Eli Roth could work. You know, I don't know if the dialogue, like his style of dialogue is more on the side of like Tarantino and stuff like that. And it suited Thanksgiving perfectly. I loved Thanksgiving to death. I don't know if, I think his writing, I'd give him a shot. I think he would be really good. The kills would be great. But I'll say, I don't depend on kills for Halloween. Even though Halloween Kills is awesome, I love it to death, I don't think that should be the main focus for the franchise. It's great for Friday the 13th. I don't think it's the most important thing for Halloween. So, yeah, that's number one. Number two, and this is a pretty straightforward, this is a want from me. Set the movie in 1981. Am I crazy? I think they should set this movie in the 80s, preferably early 80s. So I think set this in 1981, and we'll know that 78 is tied forever to the franchise, right? That year will forever be tied to the franchise. Okay, I think you should set this movie in that time frame. It doesn't have to be 81; it could be 80, somewhere around there. But I think that's where this movie should go. But having said that, I don't think characters need to be saying, hey guys, it's 1981. No, you don't even have to say it. Just make you feel it. It feels like 1981. And the reason I say that is because I don't think you want to be stating that this is a sequel to Halloween 78. I don't think necessarily. I think you actually don't want to be a sequel to 78. I think it should be its own thing, for sure. 83 is fine, Blair. But yeah, I think, and they need to stress this too. This is not a sequel to Halloween 78. That is its own thing. This is a completely new direction. We're thinking maybe trilogy here, but I need a young Myers. That's what we're looking for. A young Myers, and we want to set it in the 80s. And don't tell me you can't do that, because we got freaking Black Phone. We got the movie I just freaking saw, The Sacrifice Game. And, there are countless horror movies that are set in the 80s. Ty West, all his movies are like set in the freaking 70s and 80s. So I think people would love that. A young Myers set in the early 80s would be freaking awesome. Okay, that's number two. Number three. Here you go, okay? Include a twist. I think they should have some sort of twist, but don't let this movie depend on the twist, Still have a really good story with good characters. The first movie has great characters, I think. I think one thing that worked about the first movie is you didn't have too many characters. You had Laurie, Annie, and Linda. And that's all you had. And then Myers coming after them, and Loomis, So that's your 5, that's your pentagram, right? Those 5 characters, that's all you need. I think they should kind of stick to that. Stick to certain things that really work, that make the franchise tick, and get creative in other areas that you don't really need to abide by the main franchise. But I think when you have too many characters, then it can kind of water the story down, right? So just keep it focused, right? Have one final girl. But I think you should have some kind of twist in there. I really do. Because Halloween 4 had a really great twist. And if they could figure out one way to make a good twist, but also make it chilling, make it scary, and also make it tie into the next movie. So that way it really whets the audience's appetite. They want the next movie really, really bad, I think, right, like at this point, I'm like already excited. I got chill bumps just thinking about this movie, okay? It could be really awesome, guys. I'm telling you. But we got to have a good director. We got to have a good writer, okay? Got to have a really good writer, all right? Okay. All right, number four, okay? Pacing wise, I want you to almost make this movie a slow burn. I don't want this to be like Halloween Kills. This is the first movie in a trilogy in my vision here. I think this should be a slow burn. But I want us into this world. Like, remember I was telling you about the Batman at the beginning of this. And the reason I loved the Batman is because we're right into that world, okay? First scene in this movie, we got a young Myers walking around doing his thing, Kind of like Halloween 2. But it feels different. It feels like today, but set in the 80s. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't want an origin story. That's pretty much what I'm saying here. So I want this to be, boom, right into year 3 of Myers. But pacing-wise, I think we should take our time. Get to know the characters. This isn't a kill them every 15 minutes type of movie. I think we should have some plot lines going on. Like in Halloween 4, they had some really cool plot lines going on with Rachel and Jamie and Kelly Meeker. And they didn't make it cheesy. Somehow, even though they made it like a love triangle type thing, it wasn't front and center. You know what I mean? But it was still there. And you still were like enjoying it. And you were kind of upset for Rachel. And you were thinking Brady was an asshole. But you didn't really hate any of the characters. And that's a hard thing to pull off character-wise. These days, this seems like they always got to have a character that you hate and a character that you love. What made 4 work so well is those characters felt three-dimensional. They felt real. And they felt like people that make mistakes. They're young and stupid, right? So I think that's what they should have going here. It's Halloween. You don't have to freaking be doing rocket science in it and shit like that. But I think you got to have something going on in the background character-wise, right? So that way it keeps your interest along the way, but you know that Myers is there. He's looming. He's his presence is felt. That's what they nailed about the first movie. Myers' presence is always felt even when he's off the screen. That's what they got to do in this movie, okay? So pacing-wise, slow burn, but not too slow. Okay? Slow. I think there's a difference between slow burn and boring. Don't make this movie boring. It's 90 minutes, okay? To be honest, to be fair too, I don't think there's any Halloween movie that's boring. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Okay, last thing, and it's not the most important, but I think it is important. And this is a word on the violence. Make it bloody, but don't flex. Okay? Because we don't got nothing to prove, right? This is Halloween. We don't have to be competing for the most gratuitous, bloodiest kill. This ain't Terrifier, right? The kills in Halloween are more about emotion, like the kill in the bathroom scene. You're not like, how is he going to kill her? Is he going to like flip her upside down and then bash her against the stall and then like decapitate her? No, you're not thinking that. You're just thinking, oh my God, this poor girl. I feel so horrible for her. And her boyfriend is coming in and he's having to watch his girlfriend die in front of him. They set all that up and it was beautiful. That's what they need to do with this violence-wise. They need to make it feel visceral and to really, really get under your skin. Don't depend on just how gratuitous can it be. And maybe that's where Rob Zombie kind of went a little bit too far. Like in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 when he's... and he's just like freaking going to town on Octavia Spencer. Jesus. This is Halloween. You don't have to do that. I'll even say, too, the David Gordon Green trilogy, even in Kills, I liked the violence. Kills, I think, went really, like, the farthest that they've ever went, but it still had that impending doom tone behind it all, So you got away with it. Look, I'm not the horror fan that's going to be pissed off if you give me really good bloody kills. But I'm just saying it's Halloween. You don't have to go that crazy, right? You can even like the movie X. X was like my favorite movie of 2022, and it had some blood in it, but it was much more about the characters, and you really felt for them. Like when you got goddamn, what's her name? Freaking Tara from Scream 6. Jesus, help me out, guys. Come on. I can't think when I'm like I'm in the zone, like talking about my idea. Damn it. She's like the biggest actress working today too. Damn. But Tara in Scream, her at the end of X, when she just gives a really great performance. Jenna Ortega, thank you, Tom Lundgren. Jenna Ortega, yeah. She's just giving a really great performance. She's screaming. You see that photo of her screaming all the time. It wasn't about the blood. And it did have the payoff, too, because the old lady, when she shoots the gun, she flies right out the door. That wasn't like a gratuitous kill. That was a hilarious kill. It was fun. So I think what makes, and just to close this off, okay, because that's my 5 things, but I think what makes Myers different than other killers is there's like a childlike nature still inside there. And I think he works best when he plays cat and mouse, and when he likes to stretch out the stalking and the killing. He doesn't just go boom right like Jason. And I love Friday the 13th. When I'm in the mood, I love that stuff. But Jason, boom, just straight for the kill. That's what he does. Myers, he's hiding behind the window. He's behind the tree. He's looking around. He's just curious about you. He knows he's going to kill you. But he kind of wants to just take you in first before he kills you. He savors the idea, right? That's what's unique about Myers. So, guys, am I stupid? What do you think? I'm stupid anyway, but what do you think? Is my idea horrible? Let me know. I would love your feedback, okay? So, just to recap, just in case you jumped in the middle of it, I'll just read them off, okay? Top 5 things I would like in the new reboot of the Halloween franchise. Think Batman, the Batman. We're jumping right into 1981. 78 exists. Not the movie, but the year, okay? But we're jumping into our own thing, okay? Different timeline. One thing I didn't mention in this too, by the way, guys, is character-wise, I don't want Laurie Strode. I don't want Annie. I don't want Linda. I think to really separate ourselves from that world, I think we need like almost like an alternate universe of characters. I think that's what we need. I think we need Haddonfield. We need to stay in Haddonfield, but I think just give us a different universe of characters. Stay away from Laurie Strode. I don't mind Strode. Like you could have almost like, kind of like what they did with David Banner in the TV show for The Incredible Hulk, right? He wasn't Bruce Banner. They completely changed his name to David Banner. And the weird reason back in 1978, the reason they changed his name, the rumor was they thought Bruce sounded gay. I don't know where that came from, but they literally thought Bruce sounded gay, and so they changed his name to David, okay? But what that did was kind of give you like the license to take any property, and as long as you have your main baddie or whatever, or main character like the Hulk, as long as Michael Myers is intact and he's there, character-wise, you can play around. You don't have to be Laurie Strode. You know, you don't have to be Annie. And so I think they need to do that to separate this from that world, you know? But I think what I want is I want a 1980s, early 80s Halloween movie with a young Myers jumping right into that world, starting off a trilogy. And when it's all said and done, this trilogy has nothing to do with any timeline in the franchise. It's a completely new franchise, okay? That's what I want. And I just love early 80s, that time frame of cinema. I just did a whole video on this about dated. Is Halloween dated? Maybe it is. I don't care. I love dated movies, quote unquote dated movies. So, yeah. So, damn, that was fun telling you guys that, all right? I hope you guys liked it. Young Hollywood says the 80s aesthetic is old. Maybe you're right. But man, and maybe that's just the old, old fogey in me. But, you know what though? Let me put it this way. All right. Let me put it this way. Back in the 80s, cause I was a teenager in the 80s, right? They weren't playing 50s, like on mainstream radio, on movie trailers. They weren't playing 50s music unless the movie had something to do with the 50s. But it just so happens, in this current day and age, what decade of music can we not get away from? 80s. You constantly hear 80s music in advertisements, in movie trailers, and the movie doesn't even have to be set in the 80s. But we also see tons of movies set in the 80s. Whereas back in the 80s, we didn't have movies that were constantly set in the 50s, So there's something about the 80s that has stayed with society for some reason, and I don't quite know the full answer for it, but I get it, and I just love that time frame of cinema, and I just love maybe it's pre-internet and pre-technology. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we just want like a simpler time, I think that's what. Yeah. Back to the Future. Thank you, Blair. That's where I was using my thing, because when you watch Back to the Future, he's going back to 1950. But in the current day, we never saw we never heard like 50s music being constantly shoved down our throat. Whereas these days, you can't get away from 80s music. It's everywhere. And even if it's like modern stuff, they actually cover 80s songs constantly. All those movie trailers now, that they're like, the new gimmick is they'll take like an 80s song and they'll put like an electronic twist on it throughout the trailer. And it's got this constant build. And it's like boom, 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 boom. And by the end of the trailer, it's dun, 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 dun. That's like the formula for every fucking trailer now. It's annoying as shit. But it's like an 80s song that they got to like do some kind of electronic riff off of. It's really weird. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's shit, man. That flew right by. Jesus, that was really fun. This wasn't all Halloween stream. So just to recap, what did we do? We talked about every Halloween movie. We talked about the thing that we like the best and the thing that we like the worst. And then I told you my idea for going forward for the Halloween franchise. So can one of you get that to the Akkad's estate and let them know what I want? And hopefully they'll give me what I want. Yeah. So also, guys, before I go, channel memberships. I just started channel memberships a couple weeks ago. Already got like 6 members now, which is really cool. It's a good way to you can stick out in the live streams none of my members are here in the live streams though. But yeah. Just a way to support the channel if you don't want to do the Patreon. Also, what was the other thing? The top 10s. I think I'm gonna do another top 10 most anticipated for non-horror, and I think that might be that'll close out the top 10s. But I noticed the channel did really well over these last couple weeks because of the top 10. So I think to keep that momentum going, because it seems like you guys like the top 10s, I'm going to try to maybe put out like at least one top 10 a week. And I think that's where you guys will come in too, because I'll be reaching out to you guys, to channel members, to patrons on top 10 ideas. Top 10s are just fun, right? What's up, Fatu? Yeah, top 10s are just fun. So look for more of those for sure. There was another thing I was going to tell you too. Damn it. I can't remember though. Shit. Oh, yeah, Drumdums Extra. I always clip every live stream I do like this. I'll clip out my idea for Halloween and I'll put it on Drumdums Extra. But it's just bite size, that way you don't have to sit through 2 hours of a live stream. And I don't just cut it out and then put it out. I usually actually edit it. I cut out the ands and the uhs and if it's like a whole, sometimes I cut out like a freaking whole section, Hey, look at that. All right. Word Channel 13. Welcome, good sir. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. He's on the Michael Myers level. There's 3 levels on there too. I still got to figure out some things about the memberships too, because I'm trying to figure out a way that I can like reach out to the members to thank them individually. Because on Patreon, you can do that. You can send a message. I'm sure there's a way on memberships you can do it, but I just got to figure it out. I'm going to reach out to my buddy Knight, and he'll school me on all that stuff, because I like to reach out to each member individually and thank them, But I'm telling you right now, WDRD Channel 13, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Really do. But yeah, guys. Yeah. So yeah, Drumdums Extra. Check that out. But anyway, thank you guys so much for showing up. Had I think at least 100 of you in here today. That was really nice. And you know what? What better way than New Year's Eve to talk about my favorite franchise, Halloween. I had a blast doing it. Okay. So guys, I love you so much with all my heart. Take care of each other and be good to each other. And I hope and pray that you have the best 2024 that you can possibly have. And what I want you guys to do, I want you guys to make some kind of, this is your Uncle Lee speaking. I want you guys to make some sort of goal for yourself this year, because I love success stories. I want each and every one of you to make a goal today or tomorrow, okay, at the beginning of the year. And I want you to, lay out a plan. And I want you to go for it. Whatever it is, you want to freaking run a marathon. You want to start a YouTube channel. You want to go to school. You want to do volunteer work. It could be anything. You want to freaking want to build something, Set up a goal. I want you guys to do it. And I want you to reach out to me and say, hey, man, you said this. I started this plan, and this is what I'm doing. I love hearing stuff like that. I love for you guys to succeed. All right? So anyway, that's all I got. My voice is going. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. And tomorrow, it'll be 2024. How cool is that? So take care of each other, guys. Love you. Thank you.